Today I'm just going to make a short walk around and my test drive comments about this Toyota Corolla Cross. So just now I have test drove this car around the road in Bukit Kepayang in Seremban. So my first impression with this car when I first drive it is the power delivery is very smooth, given that this is a 1.8 liter NA engine, and the variant I'm test driving this is the 1.8 liter V-Spec. So there are actually three variants of the Toyota Corolla Cross in Malaysia, which is the 1.8 liter G, which is the base model. This is the middle spec 1.8 liter V, and at the side right here, this is the hybrid variant, which I will test drive later. So one notable feature difference compared to the hybrid versus the normal petrol variant is the headlights right here. These are finished in silver garnishing instead of blue linings, because blue in automotive term is efficiency or plug-in hybrid or hybrid vehicle, as the Toyota Cross hybrid right here. So at the front, the V-Spec and the hybrids gets the Toyota safety sense and 360-degree camera, and the headlights are all finished in LED, which are pretty nice. It makes the car look more upmarket, and many of you may say that the Corolla Cross may look very old school in terms of the design, but in my opinion, I think the front still looks fine for me. It still looks pretty modern. And at the side right here, you get 18-inch rim finished in 225 50R18. Just now I test drove the road, which has a bad road surface and potholes. The suspension in this Toyota Cross actually absorbed quite well, given that this is the 18-inch rim and these are finished in dual tone polish, and you get front and rear disc brakes. And the handling of this car are pretty tidy and sturdy as well, because this Corolla Cross is using a TNGA platform, TNGA-C platform. But one difference compared to the Toyota CHR, because this car actually shares the same platform as the previous Toyota CHR, is the rear of this Toyota Corolla Cross actually using a torsion beam setup instead of double wishbone. One good thing is it actually makes the interior room bigger and wider and more spacious. One downside is the rear seat comfort may sacrifice a bit. But throughout the test drive just now, I feel that the handling is pretty tidy, given that the rear is torsion beam, but the rear actually is a bit more bumpy than those in the double wishbone, because you can't run away of it. It's a torsion beam. And the rear right here, in my opinion, I think it looks fine, although the design is not as exciting as the Honda HR-V or the Mazda CX-30 right there, but it's a very evergreen design in my opinion, because design is very subjective. Some may like the look, some may don't. But at least Toyota have made an effort to make a black trims right here, so that it makes the rear tail light look more premium, and it's finished in LED. And for the Toyota Cross, you actually get the power tailgate. Let me demonstrate to you. Let me unlock the door. You can either use the key to open the trunk, or by press the lever right here, or by using the foot sensor, but you need to have the key on yourself in order to unlock the tailgate. As you can see, this is the power tailgate buttons, and these are the tonneau cover, very solid tonneau cover. And you do get a Toyota Corolla Cross rubberized mat. Down here you do get a spare tire and some tire repair kits, which are organized quite well. And the boot space is rather generous, although it's not as spacious as the Honda HR-V, but it's still considered spacious than the previous Toyota CHR. So right here you still get a trunk light, and the whole interior is finished in black, so that it gives you a more sporty appeal. So to close the boot, just press the power tailgate button. It closes quite slow, but it's fine. And up here you do get a roof rack and a Corolla Cross name at the window lines. And you do get keyless entry for the front doors. So now let's get inside the interior. very solid doors, and all for window you actually get automatic up and down. Impressive. And up here you do get soft touch material, leather padding right here, but it's not as plush as the Corolla Altis, so these are some cost optimization going on. But I do like this grip handle because you can rest your hands right here. You do get auto high beams, headlight leveling. This part I finished in hard plastic, this part also, but it's fine because the prices of this Corolla Cross is roughly around 130,000. So I think is still considered quite okay. And you do get power seats for the driver's side, but you lose out on the lumbar support. The interior overall is similar to the Corolla Altis, but one thing you loses is the digital meter cluster. You get analog instead of digital meter cluster. The digital meter cluster only found in the hybrid variant. But the meter layout are considered quite simple yet informative because you still get a multi-information display right here, which you can cycle between these buttons. Between these buttons right here. So you press back. This is your Toyota safety sense settings. Lane trace assist, pre-collision system, blind spot monitoring, front parking sensor, rear cross traffic alert. So you can cycle between different infos. These are your trip. These are the adaptive cruise control right here. So these are the gear indicators, and these are the fuel gauge, and this engine temperature. So it's considered fine because all the useful information is located right here and it's simple to read, not too messy. And the steering wheel right here is finished in leather, very high quality leather, multifunctional steering wheel. And the steering wheel adjustment, you do get tilt and telescopic. Once you open, it reveals a 12-volt socket, and one thing good about it is it actually makes an indentation right here so that you can run your cable through. So when you close the center armrest, it won't hit your cables. Good job in ergonomics. And this part here is very soft touch material, although it's not finished in high quality leather, but at least the surface is soft, so it feels more comfortable to touch. And to be honest, I'm not fancy in the stitching right here, but it still makes the interior look less dull because as you can see, the color combination of the interior are finished in full black with just some silver garnishing. But at least the stitching makes the interior look more upmarket than it is. And you get a convents located underneath the touchscreen head unit. And right here you get a glove box. The glove box dip down slowly in a very elegant manner. Good job. And the storage space are finished in very generous amount. Door pockets for both sides. Up here you do get reading light, and the front dash cam are standard in the Corolla Cross. And do get ventilating mirror with the light. And the sun visor for the Cross is slide instead of those flip type. So this actually feels more high quality. And do get grip handles. And the headroom for this car is pretty good. Even though I adjusted the seat to a really tall position, but I still get more than 1 fist of headroom. So you are feeling less claustrophobic inside the Toyota Corolla Cross. And the windows in this car are also pretty nice. And you can actually predict the front end because as you can see the bonnets. You can see the bonnets and the side mirrors are big enough. So you are getting less blind spot as the side mirrors are mounted on the door panel instead of A-pillar. So you free up some space here so that you can watch your blind spot, whether it's there a motorcycle or a bicycle. So it prevents you from hitting it. And you do get automatic headlights and automatic wipers. So I do think the specs of this 1.8V are quite nicely spec'd, and you do get keyless entry and keyless start. So although the interior design are not as fancy as its competitors, the Mazda CX-3, CX-30 or HR-V, but Toyota built cars are built to last, and these things are proven to be reliable. So I think it's not an issue. So now let's check out the back seat. So one thing I show you, if you lock the door, if you unlock the door, you just pull the door handle once and it will unlock the lock itself. So now let's check out the back seat. So you actually need to unlock 2 times to unlock the rear door. Okay, let's get to the back seat. So once you get into the back seat, you notice that the seat bench is actually pretty long. Actually, as you can see, it supports my whole thigh. So this is one good thing I noticed for the rear seats. And for the rear seat back angle, you can adjust the angle. This is the first step, which is a rather upright position, and the second step is a more backward position. So sitting at the rear is, to be very honest, is super comfortable, and the seat leather quality right here is also pretty nice. Alright, now I'm in the Toyota Corolla Cross 1.8 liter hybrid. Just now I have shown you the 1.8 liter V, which is pure petrol Toyota Corolla Cross. So now I'm going to show you the interior of this Toyota Corolla Cross hybrid. So as for the exterior, just now I have mentioned the differences between the normal Cross versus the hybrid. So for the hybrid Toyota Corolla Cross, I will only focus on the interior and tell you what are the difference between the normal petrol and the hybrid. First thing first, when you get inside the car and get your car start, before you start, you notice the push start button right here is finished in blue color and it's not engine start, it's actually power. So when you start the car, typical hybrid cars, the engine will not start to charge the battery. So now basically we are in EV mode, therefore the interior is very quiet, are not disturbed by the engine. And as you can see right here, these are the main difference between the normal petrol versus the hybrid Toyota Corolla Cross, which you get a digital meter cluster is the same you found in the Corolla Altis. Instead, only for the left side, because this is a hybrid, it doesn't need to have RPM. So it replaces with the power, eco, and when the engine will charge the battery. And when you off the car, it will went to off. So same thing, you can cycle between the multi-information display at the center screen right here by pressing the buttons right here. As you can see, you can hear the engine is starting. Which means the engine are running because the hybrid battery are in pretty low position, so the engine will actually kicks in. For your information, when the engine kicks in to charge the battery, it actually makes a rather rough sound, but it's actually normal. So you can cycle between the multi-information display by pressing the button right here. As you can see, now the engine is charging the battery. You can get this diagram. So you can cycle between, and you get full sets of Toyota safety sense in the hybrid. Eco zone. These are your adaptive cruise control settings. And right here, this is your fuel gauge, this is your engine temperature. So same thing, you get automatic headlights and wipers. Steering wheel, you get tilt and telescopic adjustment. Finished in really high quality leather wrapped steering wheel. And up here, the dashboard quality are same with the normal petrol, finished in hard plastic. Same touchscreen head unit, which supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And right here, you get dual zone climate controls in the hybrid variant. Fan speed, different modes, interior air circulation, and you do get automatic climate control. So this is to control the temperature. And right here, it's still finished in soft touch plastic. And the seats, I really need to give this seat a kudos because the seats are super comfortable. And slidable center armrest. And right here, as you notice, in the normal petrol variant, it loses out in the drive mode and the EV mode button, but it's present on the hybrid. So you press the drive mode, you will enter. If you press once, you will enter power mode, which the meters will change to red, signifies sport. And press once again, it will went back to eco mode. And press once again, it will went back to normal mode. This is to turn off the traction control and EV mode. EV mode is unavailable as the battery is in low charge, so it won't run EV mode. So right here, compared to the normal petrol cross, this is using a E-CVT instead of CVT. So therefore you do not get the function to manually shift the gear. So the modes you get is only the B. B is when you're going downhill, it will do engine braking and it will use the kinetic energy to charge the battery. So this is how hybrid car works. So you move into reverse, you get 360-degree camera together with a reverse camera, but the resolution is in a poorer side, but it's still functional. And you still do not get electronic parking brake, instead you get a foot brake, but it's very solid. And you do get wireless charging, and it's an optional accessory, I presume. And here you do get two garnishing right here, signifies this is a cross. Two cup holders, central armrest. Basically everything is identical to the normal petrol cross, just that you are different in the engine. You get the additional battery pack and electric motor and digital media cluster, dual zone climate controls, driving mode, and an E-CVT gearbox. That's about it. And you do get power seat. It's finished in 8-way. You can adjust the height, and the front seat angle you can adjust so that it can support your thigh better. Auto high beam, manual headlight leveling, and this is the button to pop open the power tailgate. Automatic window in 4 windows. Side mirror retract, side mirror adjustments. As you can see, there's another Toyota Corolla Cross. So proven that this car is a good seller in Malaysia, because you're actually seeing it everywhere in the roads. So I think Toyota have made a successful job in this Toyota Corolla Cross. And the specs given are considered very generous, just the design of the car, because Toyota cars are not usually makes their car look luxury or sporty. All they do is they mix their thing ergonomics and functional. Everything is where it's supposed to be. So many people may feel that Toyota interiors are boring and low quality, but in my opinion, the build quality is very solid. In fact, it's more solid than the Mercedes-Benz GLB up front. Okay, so this is the engine bay of the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. So it does not get the engine cover like you found in the Toyota Vios. So it is what it is. You do get hybrid Toyota badge right here, finished in blue illuminated. This is the inverter assist converter.